Welcome to Spiritual and Empowerment Living with international speaker, spiritual mentor, and best-selling author, Tia Johnson, as she discusses spiritual and women's empowerment topics to assist you in igniting your spirituality and empowering your quality of life. Let's welcome your host, Tia Johnson.
Hey there, Spiritual Trailblazers, and welcome to episode 216. The secret lives of crystals you need to know about. This is going to be interesting. So before I dive into that, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So if you haven't already, make your way to the blog, of course, after you listen to this episode, and check out this week's blog post. All you have to do is go to blog.tiamariejohnson.com, get all your info there, binge read, okay? Grab yourself a glass of wine, maybe flavored water, a little lemon in there, relax, read, and gain all that juicy spiritual knowledge. All right, so again, head over to blog.tiamariejohnson.com and read up. The next thing I want to tell you about is something I've been wanting to do for so long, and that's to talk about how crystals can help your goddess energy. So the webinar, that deals with this is on the 17th. Okay, so you can register at tiamariejohnson.com/crystal goddess because we will be diving into some very interesting crystals to help you with your goddess energy. So it's like a booster, okay? It's going to help with abundance, life purpose, and boundaries. It's going to help recenter, redefine, and reconnect you with areas in your life. Okay, I have used crystals many a times to help me with clarity, and I had recommend crystals to many women who have worked with me over the years. And all I can say is that it has been beneficial for them. Okay, crystals are like your success team in many ways. Okay, they bring this different type of energy that is a great booster to help you with multiple areas in your life. So I'm so excited for this webinar. Okay, we're going from having energy that at times can be stale to the use of crystals to help us break it up. All right, so go ahead, head over to tiamariejohnson.com/crystal goddess. I want to see you in that webinar. So go ahead, get set up, and I will see you on the 17th. Last but not least, I would love for you to take your goddess archetype quiz. Okay, this is something new to the Tia Marie Johnson camp and on the website. And this is really about honing in on your unique gifts. There are these little quirks we have, little things that we do on a consistent basis that are indicators of our true gifts. Okay, so think of the very things you do all the time that's so natural to you, but it comes harder to others, something that you enjoy doing is so effortless for you. Think of some of those things because those are notifications of your gifts. Okay, so what if you were able to understand it, give a name to it, and then apply that knowledge to your life to help you thrive even more, to take you to the next level? So go ahead, go to tiamariejohnson.com. A pop-up will display, and you can take your goddess archetype quiz. So discover your goddess archetype by going to tiamariejohnson.com. All righty, so here we are, episode 216. We are in the month of July. I am still trying to process this, okay? Even though this is the second episode of the month, but still. And this is why I want to talk about the secret lives of crystals, because there are a lot of things that happen in our lives. Sometimes we feel like it's going fast. Sometimes we feel like it's going very slow. And other times it feels stagnant. And we talked a little bit about that in last week's episode, what happens when we are a little bit stagnant and feel like life is stagnant. So I want to talk about not so much the science behind crystals, because that's something that is really deep. And while I don't mind getting into that because I took the course and I'm a certified hibiscus moon crystal healer, that's going to span more than I would like to, or more time than I would like to dedicate right now. I just want to show you, or at least present to you, how crystals already influence our lives and how we can use that to the best of our ability. So this is like a sneak peek into the webinar of sorts. All right. So one is that crystals are everywhere. That's something that you really need to think about. Crystals can be found just about anywhere and everywhere. Okay, there are crystal caves. People are constantly digging for crystals. Some of these caves are so hot that people have to take breaks. Okay, so crystals are really from the earth, and they are these beings in a way that give off energy, which leads me to the next point. Because they give off certain energy, we are already, as I was saying earlier, influenced by them. So let me explain. We use them more than we realize. Crystals are in our watches, our phones. We use them as scanners, so they're inside scanners, computers, engagement rings, okay? We use these all the time, whether we really think of it as a crystal. And I'm also using crystal as an umbrella term that also applies to rock. Like an Apache tear is not really a crystal. Pearl is just a pearl. It's not really a crystal. But what I'm saying here is that we use crystals more than we realize. Okay, like I said, engagement ring, earrings, birthstones. Okay, it's all fun and games when it's used for a birthstone and engagement ring. But then when we start to use crystals for healing, people start to think, whoa, wait a minute, is this good? Is it bad? Does it work? Okay. So just as an engagement ring, however you have it set up, whether you use diamonds or something else, just as that is a symbol of someone's love, a symbol of someone's loyalty, etc., it's also in a lot of ways giving off that energy. So depending on the crystal we're using, that's the energy that's given off. Now, most of the time, we are unknowingly using a clear quartz, okay, because that's an amplifier crystal. So these are the crystals that, again, are in your phones, etc., because they're great amplifiers. With that being said, keep in mind that we have to take certain precautions, because I deal with women who think that they are crazy. Okay, that's number one thing. They say, "Oh, T, I'm crazy." I thought I was crazy because I ignored the signs. I didn't pay attention to my intuition. I thought I was crazy, right? Well, because these crystals are underground and around us, sometimes it throws off our energy, because we can have, let's say a sapphire, and then there is a clear quartz somewhere, and then there's a malachite, a green one, okay? Sometimes crystals mix well together, other times they don't, all right? So keep that in mind too. So when you feel off, start to go through the process of elimination. Am I off because of my menstrual cycle? Do I feel off today because it's raining and I just feel tired? Am I off today because I'm just burnt out? Okay. Now, once you go through all that and you're thinking, oh man, I wonder if it's just possibly crystals that are just around me, because remember, as I was saying, they're underground, they're in the phones, they're all around us. So what do we do? Right? That's the energy that they're giving off. Well, one is to remember that the bigger the crystal, the more energy is going to give out. Okay, so chances are you might walk somewhere, feel a little off, and there's a crystal that you may not know about right there. So just whenever you feel off and you can't explain it, okay, and that's after the process of elimination, do a grounding exercise. And there are plenty of exercises you can do to ground yourself. One of my favorites is to just imagine roots coming out from the soles of your feet into the core of the earth. Okay, you're just giving that energy back to Mother Earth. Okay, and then you just imagine the roots coming back up and you're good. And it may take you about a minute. You know, everyone's different. Deep breaths are always good. Excuse yourself, go outside and get some natural air. Close your eyes for a little bit, take a deep breath, have a drink of water. That's always really key. Or if you can, just go ahead and take a quick power nap. Okay, so those are some of the quick things you can do. Long term, if you want to get a little bit more creative, some of the things you can do is to have a protective stone around you, but I wouldn't suggest carrying it every day, all the time, because it is a grounding stone, and that's a tourmaline. Tourmaline is a very well, when you get it smoothed out, and the name escapes me right now. When you get it, oh my gosh, I can't think of when the stone is smoothed out, and the name escapes me. But you can get a tourmaline, and that can help you to remain grounded because it's like a booster, right? It's help you right then and there. Some of the things you can do is to meditate deeply, where you're imagining a golden net surrounding you, white light surrounding you. Okay, you can do some research and figure out, hey, I wonder if there are any crystals in my area. And there are a lot of things you can Google. All right, so you can find out, are there any crystal caves nearby? All right, how do crystals influence how I think and feel? Okay, so doing a little bit of homework, preparing yourself before you leave the house always helps. Tumble, there you go, tumble stone. When it's tumbled, it's smoothed out. Okay, so we covered the fact that crystals are everywhere, just about. That we use them more than we realize. Okay, so that's one of the main secrets of the lives of crystals, is that we use them way more than we probably give it credit for. So, and on top of that, how we can work with crystals, because of the energy that they give off, it can throw us off a little bit, which is why I said you don't want to carry grounding stones with you for too long, because you're going to be so grounded. It's like you're feeling dense. Okay. All right. So on a lighter note, the one crystal that I would suggest you carry on a daily basis would be a rose quartz. Now, when I say this, people think, well, why didn't you say a clear quartz, Tia? Well, because a clear quartz is, remember, an amplifier. And an amplifier crystal amplifies whatever you are feeling or thinking at the moment. So if you are angry at someone, guess what? That anger is going to be amplified. If you love someone, on the other hand, that love will be amplified. If you're feeling off, that's what will be amplified. Okay, so we have to be careful about that. With a rose quartz, which is pink in color, light, like it's like I have seen some darker pink ones, but generally speaking, it's like a lighter color pink. That is for empathy. And yes, it does help with love, relationship love, but it also helps with self-love and empathy. So if you are someone who needs more understanding, empathy, self-love in your life, that's what you want to have in your pocket or in your bra. In my case, I put my crystals in my bra. Okay, but what I'm saying here is that having that around will help you on a day-to-day basis. It will help with your mood. It will help you be more understanding, not just about what's going on with other people, but it will help you to be a little bit understanding of yourself and your personal process. There are so many people who don't make time to do some self-reflection because we're always on go. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to show up for this person and that person. And maybe when we get to ourselves, actually, no, I'm just going to fall asleep. So it's this crystal will help you to just chill, take a few steps back, and just have a more even toned day. All right. Now, if it's, Friday night, you're hanging out with your girlfriends, then you want to what's called reprogram the crystal. So the footnote for reprogramming is initially when you get the crystal, you put it in your hand, you think about what you want to use it for, you have that connection. Okay. Now, when you're done with that purpose, you can blow your breath on it. So it's like a simple, okay. You can set it outside, let the air cleanse it. Under a full moon, you can cleanse it. And then you reset it. You put it in your hand and you think about, I want to be on a path to find the love of my life. So you're out with your girls. It's Friday night and you're going to put that crystal in your bra. But now it's going to help you with other functions. Okay. So this is the crystal that you want to have with you on a regular basis. And I said it because in addition to what I said a few moments ago about helping you with your mood and being more empathetic, people ask me, what's a good crystal to have on a regular? Like, what is a crystal I can carry around to you that's okay for me? I would suggest a rose quartz. All right. So the final thing I want to talk about here is to understand that crystals have been here for like eternity. Okay. Crystals have been here for such a very long time. There's a lot of knowledge stored in these crystals. Okay. So one of the main secrets of crystals is that they are a powerhouse of different forms of knowledge. Okay. So for you to connect with the crystal, what you're doing is you're tapping into the knowledge of that crystal, which in returns open up parts of you. For example, let's go back to the rose quartz. Let's say when you reprogrammed it and you're just like, all right, out with my girls. I also want to meet a guy tonight. Okay. And while you're holding in your hand and reprogramming this crystal, you may get a vision. You may get a feeling to wear the red shirt as opposed to the black dress you had in mind. You may get a feeling to go to John's restaurant and bar down the street as opposed to, the crab shack up the road. Okay. This is how the crystals work. All right. You're going to get an emotion. You're going to get a thought. You're going to get a feeling. That's their language. And the knowledge they have within them is something that is relayed to you in that way. So to put this in a nutshell, okay, the secret lies of crystal that we need to know about. Crystals are everywhere throughout the globe. Okay. We are influenced. Part of what we do each day has to do with a lot of external things, right? So if we go outside and it's sunny, chances are we're going to feel happier. But we also may feel hot because it may be muggy, depending on the other things like the air quality, the moisture in the air. There's dry heat and moist heat. So that also influences us. So if the simple sun and the moon and the air influences us externally and how we react throughout the day, then of course crystals will too. All right. So just keep in mind that we are influenced by so much that we don't realize. Okay. And next is that once we figure out, okay, I'm feeling off, go back to your center, take some deep breaths, get a drink of water, close your eyes, stretch, do what you need to do to kind of shake that off, okay? Carry a rose quartz with you, because that's a great crystal to have, which the energy that's giving off will allow you to be more empathetic, will help you to be kinder to yourself. I know a lot of women who listen to this podcast are hard on themselves because we hold ourselves to a high regard. We want to get a lot done. We are high achievers, but we also have to be kind to ourselves, which is why I say this at the end. And, last but not least, just remember that there's just it's a lot of knowledge within these crystals. It's a lot of messages inside these crystals. And the more we do our research on all these different crystals, from angelite to selenite to lapis lazuli, the more we learn about these crystals, the better we can get to know ourselves. And that's one of my passions, is to help you know yourself on so many layers that you feel comfortable with each layer you are peeling back. So we can have that recentering moment, redefining moment, and reconnecting moment. All right. That's what I have for you. The secret lies of crystal that we need to know about. All right. Don't forget to sign up for the webinar, because we are going to dive deeper on very specific crystals to help you in very specific areas in your life. And don't forget to take the Goddess Archetype quiz. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending you so many blessings. Don't forget to be kind to yourself. And as always, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you for joining Spiritual Living and Empowerment with Tia Johnson. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in to the next show. Want to continue the conversation with Tia? Follow her on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at Tia_Johnson_. Have a wonderful day filled with many blessings.